Byzantium, located at the area known as Sarayburnu today, formed the first core of the city of Constantinople. Founded by Greek colonists in the 7th century BC, Byzantium lasted until Roman domination. According to Pseudo-Kodinos, this city-state was surrounded with defensive walls which were about 5 kilometers long and reinforced with 27 towers. In 196 AD, Byzantium was besieged by Roman Emperor Septimus Severus. During the siege, the city and the walls were severely damaged. Later, by taking the strategic and geographical importance of Byzantium into consideration, the Roman Emperor built new defense walls, located 300 meters west of the old ones. In 324 AD, Constantine the Great declared this city as the new capital of the Roman Empire. He primarily took precautions for the defense of the newly established city. He built the Walls of Constantine, which were positioned notably outside of the Walls of Septimus Severus. Constantine's double line of walls stretched between the Golden Horn and the Marmara Sea and were around 6.5 kilometers long. By the beginning of the reign of Theodosius II, inhabitants of Constantinople outgrew the area defined by the Walls of Constantine. Moreover, the need for better defenses arose in his reign. Eventually, the construction of new walls became inevitable. In the early 5th century, Theodosian walls were built at approximately 1.5 kilometers west of the Walls of Constantine. Upon construction of these walls, the area city occupied had enlarged sizably and included 7 hills just like Rome. Theodosian walls defined the boundaries of Constantinople for the following 1500 years. The walls were built in the reign of Theodosius II in 2 phases. The construction of the land walls of Theodosius, designed by Praetorian prefect Anthemius, and were completed around 423 AD. To cover the new areas added along the northern and southern part of the city, sea walls were built afterwards. Later, the land walls went through a restoration, and a second wall for reinforcement was built. Hence, the Theodosian walls became double-lined. On the Theodosian walls, there were 10 main gates, but one of them was extraordinary, the Golden Gate. This gate stood between the 9th and 10th towers of the inner wall. It had 3 openings and a central arch higher and wider than other gates. This monumental gate was similar to triumphal arches of Septimus Severus and Constantine in Rome. The material of this gate showed some distinctness from the rest of the walls. Considering some other differences as well, there has been a scholarly debate about the construction date of this monument. Some have claimed that this monument is not contemporary with the walls of Theodosius II, and it should be dated to the reign of Theodosius I. Another fundamental matter during the early Byzantine period had been supplying water to the city. The city of Constantinople did not have sufficient fresh water resources. Lycus was the only river. In fact, it was a small stream which ran through the peninsula. It entered the city through Porta Pempton, flew through southwest direction, and ended in Blanga, pouring into Marmara Sea. In addition to Lycus, there were few natural springs which later became associated with the Virgin Mary and declared as holy, such as the Ayasma of Church of Blakarne. These water sources were certainly not enough for the growing population of Constantinople in the late antiquity, which was about 500,000 in the 5th and 6th centuries. Therefore, a comprehensive aqueduct system and a large number of cisterns were required. The first aqueduct in Byzantium has been built earlier by Hadrian. However, in Constantinople, some new parts of the city were positioned at higher spots than Byzantium and its old aqueduct system. Therefore, it had been inevitable to build a new aqueduct system. Hence, Valens Aqueduct was built to respond this need. It had been an essential part of water supply system of the city for 15 centuries, including late Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman periods. There are various theories on when and by whom this structure was built. There are resources which state that its construction had been initiated by Constantinus II and completed by Emperor Valens. This masonry structure was approximately 971 meters long. Around the city of Constantinople, there were two main areas that were rich in water resources, Halkalı and the zone where Belgrade Forest stands today. By taking its elevation into consideration, the traces of the water supply line of Valens Aqueduct hint that it had been fed from the water supplies at Halkalı. The water supply line passed from a sufficient height which could feed open cistern of Aetus and cistern of Aspar, then pass from Valens Aqueduct and end at closed cistern of Philoxenos. The lack of fresh water sources obliged the existence of cisterns to preserve the water in the supply system. Some of the open cisterns included in the system were Hebdomon cistern, cistern of Aetus, cistern of Aspar, and cistern of Moschus. Also underground cisterns like the Basilica cistern and the cistern of Philoxenos had been a part of the system.